everybody, and welcome back, or welcome if you are new. And if you are new and just so happen to be a fan of extreme horror, thrillers, and the smut, I think we will be very fast friends. And in order to solidify that friendship, I would recommend clicking the subscribe button down below and maybe consider hitting the bell, because that's how you notify yourself about when I post new stuff, okay? So today I realized that I haven't posted a vlog in so long, and I've been reading a lot, and in order to stay updated with what I've been reading, I would recommend following me on Bookstagram, link down below, and Goodreads. That would probably be the best way to keep up with me, as I am way more active on there than I am over here. The lighting is so inconsistent, I am so sorry. I haven't vlogged in so freaking long, so I thought that today I would do that. I would give you a vlog. And in this vlog, I went book shopping, I went to the beach, and I went and saw the new Scream movie, Scream 6. Anyway, so if you would like to see what books I shopped for, please stay tuned, and at the end of the video, I will show you myself going to see Scream 6 and let you know what I thought of that movie, okay? Okay, first let me adjust this fucking lighting. So I did buy 4 books, and these books were ones that I accumulated in my stay over here. So the first one I bought was Notes on an Execution by Dania Kukafka. So I actually have already read this book. I annotated it, so much annotating as you can see, because this is honestly one of the best books I've ever read. In a nutshell, we follow this serial killer named Ansel Packer, and his chapters are told in the second person point of view. So that is when the word you is used. It's very immersive and it's very nuanced in the sense that we get to see inside his head, we get to see a very clear picture of him and how he hates what he does, hates what he has become, says that he wishes he didn't have these urges to kill people. And then in the other chapters, we get points of view from various women connected to the women he murdered, either directly or indirectly, and we get other chapters of women who are connected to his life, women who have wanted good things for him, women who have wanted the best for him, and we get to see so much of this situation, and the focus is put on the women and the victims of this guy's merciless attacks. There's just so much powerful, raw emotion all around. It is way better than this lighting. I'm so sorry, the lighting is horrible, it keeps changing. But yeah, this book is really good, really gripping, emotionally powerful. The writing is absolutely stunning. I found myself highlighting so many passages. I'm actually thinking of maybe doing a full video on why this is such a masterpiece. So if any of you would be interested in that, do let me know. This book also does take a very nuanced look at the death penalty. Ultimately, it is against the death penalty, as am I. I don't believe that the government should have the power to decide who lives and dies, especially given how corrupt systems can be and how innocent people can potentially end up in jail. That's just a very barbaric practice, in my opinion, and it's just not something I support. And the way this book looks at that is just so interesting, and I definitely would recommend buddy reading this with someone, especially someone you trust to have deep, nuanced conversations with, because this will definitely strike up a lot of that. I also bought this copy of The Road by Cormac McCarthy because it was on sale at the bookstore. It was only $10, and I had heard of Cormac McCarthy. Actually, I had read a Cormac McCarthy book before. I read All the Pretty Horses. I didn't love it because I don't think I was in the right headspace to appreciate a book like that. I might have read it too fast. Perhaps if I had read it slower and let his prose linger in my mind, I would have had a far greater appreciation for it. But regardless, if I do reread that book one day, I will inform the channel about it. But with regard to this book, I heard many good things about it. When I was at the bookstore, I went on Goodreads and saw a lot of my friends giving this book 5 stars, saying that it was very dark and gritty and depressing and disturbing. And those adjectives, when associated with a book, will make me pick up the book. Okay, definitely curious to read this. I actually started the first 40 pages. The prose is very beautiful, but it is very dense and very poetic. It is most definitely not a quick read. Quick reads are the kind of books that I am specifically interested now because my life is very hectic and I fear going into a reading slump, so unless a book is, you know, short, sweet, straightforward, I will not have the attention span for it. But with the first 40 pages that I did read, I can tell that this is a very bleak dystopian. We follow this man and his son, and the man is very depressed at the state of the world and the life that his son will have, the fact that his son won't be able to have a life, and he's also depressed about how the world has, you know, gone to shit. And we're basically following them on this road of survival in this very cold, vast, unforgiving, godforsaken, desolate wasteland. So far there's been a lot of world building and not enough plot, so we're gonna see how this goes, and yeah, check in when I read this. Next, I purchased this book, which is Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin, and I bought this because, one, this cover is stunning. I don't know if you can tell, but it's like shiny, and the inside is just like this beautiful rainbow color, and the backside is like, the author is just so beautiful, and she seems like a really lovely person. I watched an interview of her on Jimmy Fallon, I think. Fallon, Kimmel, one of those. It doesn't matter. What matters is her, and she sounds really cool, and this book has been winning all the Best Books of the Year award. I think it won on Goodreads, it won on Book of the Month. What I do know about this book is that we follow these 2 kids who were friends, and they reconnect as adults, and they develop this video game, and I don't know if it's a romance, I don't know if it's a friendship story. I do know that Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow is the speech in Macbeth, which is probably my favorite Shakespeare play. Not a huge Shakespeare person, but I did have to read some of his stuff in school, and Macbeth had the ghosts and the killings and the witches, and I dug it, okay? So yeah, I'm just gonna go with Macbeth as my favorite Shakespeare play, okay? Anyway, I don't really have much else to say about this book because I want to go into it as fresh as possible. So we'll see how this goes, and hoping for the best. This was pretty expensive, so I don't know, we'll see. And the final book I got was The Shards by Bret Easton Ellis, who I now call Daddy. Okay, so Daddy wrote this book, and the reason I bought this is because I read American Psycho last year, which was, you know, recommended by many of my extreme horror friends. They said it was super intense. They said it was super graphic. They said it was just like all kinds of messed up. And I was just like, I need this in my life, okay? And like, oh my gosh, I have seen the movie. I love the movie. Christian Bale, oh my gosh, hello there. But that book went so much further than the movie did as far as the kills and the brutality and the offensive content that I was just like, whoa. Certain passages had my jaw on the floor at the sheer like umph of it. It ended up becoming one of my favorite books of last year, and as a result, I had to pick up the new Bret Easton Ellis. I think this is his first book in like 10 or 20 years or something, and this is described to me as a coming-of-age story about this guy named Bret. I think he's writing about himself. I don't know if this is a faux autobiographical take of an idealized childhood. We follow this guy named Bret who goes to this place called Buckley College. It's in 1981, and it's set in the idyllic Valley of California, Hollywood, where all the rich people are. So all these kids are rich, vapid, soulless people. They just go about their life with their privilege. They have these fixed routines. They have fixed relationships with one another. And they are all 17, so they are all on the brink of adulthood. And this new guy named Robert Mallory comes in and disrupts their entire existence, and Bret starts to suspect that Robert Mallory is somehow connected with these murders that have been happening throughout the town, okay? So it's 600 pages. I don't know how this is gonna go. I am 251 pages in. I've been annotating it. I am liking it so far. It's far less thriller and more coming-of-age Sofia Coppola movie, but as a huge Sofia Coppola fan, this doesn't bother me at all. Also, the UK cover is so much nicer than the American one, so we'll see how this goes. Hope it stays good. Also, I went to the beach. It was really fun, and I saw Scream 6, so I'm gonna include that footage now. And enjoy. So right now I'm just gonna give you some quick thoughts on what I thought of Scream 6, and if you have been following me on Instagram, you will know that I had literally no faith in this movie. Wes Craven's not directing it, Neve Campbell's not gonna be in it, it's not gonna be set in Woodsboro, and it's coming out way too soon after the 5th movie. Like, normally there is a huge gap between Scream movies, so I was like, okay, this is too soon. It's barely been a year and a sequel has already been announced. They're already filming it. What is going on? Neve Campbell's not gonna be in this. It's going to be a disaster. This movie made me eat my fucking words, okay? On the way home, I typed up these notes. I'm gonna read them to you, but long story short, I fucking loved it, okay? I loved every single second of this film. Is it perfect? No. Is it perfect to me? Yes. Like, I mean, life is hard, and the fact that this movie made me forget about all the hardships in life, it was just so good, okay? So I'm gonna read off my scatterbrained notes that I typed on the subway home while fearing for my life, because if you know, you know. The subway scene in that movie, what the fuck? So let's talk about Ghostface Takes Manhattan, but So yeah, there's no Sidney Prescott, Neve Campbell isn't in this movie, but I feel like the way they wrote her off was very respectful. She can definitely come back as Sidney. Like, they do write her off, but they don't kill her off screen or anything, okay? So there's no Snow White and the Huntsman Winter's War bullshit happening here. Everybody relax. Also, my main takeaway from this movie is I now have proof, concrete proof, that God is a woman, and her name is Melissa fucking Barrera. Melissa Barrera plays Sam, who was the protagonist of the last film, and she did fall flat to many people. I personally didn't mind her. I think she's very good looking. I thought she did a fine job with what she was given. If Scream 5 fell flat for anyone, I would be hard pressed to blame it on her. But over here, she is on a whole other level, and I was very impressed. Like, her initial introduction in Scream 5 was underwhelming to some, but the seeds that that movie planted and the way they come to fruition over here was like, whoa. She comes off as a legitimate star and threat. Spoilers for Scream 5, we learn that she is the illegitimate daughter of Billy Loomis, the killer in the first film. And over here, we actually do feel a sense of unsafeness. I don't know if that's a real word, but we feel uncertain around her because at the beginning of the movie, she is in therapy and she actually admits to her therapist that she enjoys the act of killing, which is very unsettling, very disconcerting for sure. And throughout the movie, she's like a ticking time bomb. It's like, is she gonna snap? Like, when is it gonna happen? Is it gonna happen? Oh shit, oh shit. If Ghostface keeps pushing her, when is she finally gonna just lose it, you know? And the way Melissa Barrera does this performance is just incredible. Like, the way she navigates being a nurturing and caring sister to Tara, the Jenna Ortega character, while also trying to stifle her bloodlust, requires such technical precision, which I think Melissa just nails, and I was just so impressed. And speaking of the Jenna Ortega character, like, her relationship with her sister is just so good. It feels so germane to what was set up in the prior film, and so consistent with how these two characters were built up, and how they react to certain situations just felt so real. There is, without a doubt, an authenticity to this relationship, and I was just so attached to these characters. Not just these characters, but like the whole core four, like them and Mindy and her twin brother. The chemistry between these characters is just so good. You can tell that they are friends in real life. And ultimately, what I really loved the most about this movie, in addition to all the kills and shit, which we're gonna get into next, it boasted a very heartfelt, genuinely moving story that I did not anticipate, and the core four really sold this story and really had me invested in them and worried about whether or not they would survive, and I was just so hooked. So now that we have emotionally invested in these characters, we obviously want them to survive. So let's talk about the kills. Oh my gosh. Okay, no spoilers. I'm not gonna say who dies. I'm not gonna say who Ghostface is, but bitch, the bodega scene that was in the trailers was so fucking intense, and the way it was shot was like a Western movie. Like, the silences and the way things were blocked and where certain characters hid and the crunching of the glass and the pacing of the scene was just straight out of a Western movie, and I fucking loved it. And the subway scene was so intense. Hello?
You like scary movie? What's your favorite scary movie?
Okay, bye. And the subway scene was so intense. Like, it's not a fast scene, it's very deliberately paced and shots are lingered on. It's so dragged out that the tension can be cut with a knife. And I had to ride the subway after this movie, and I was in a state of anxiety, let me just put that out there. And Gale's encounter with Ghostface, like the Gale chase scene, that bitch, my nails were digging into my fucking knees. I was like, oh shit, she is fucked. Not gonna say what happens to her, but yeah. Also, the character work in the main fight at the end, like there is a twist after twist, and I was like, oh shit. Okay, look, some of you might find this predictable, but when I go into Scream movies, I turn my brain off. Like, I don't try to guess. I just let the thing happen and let myself have fun and be surprised, okay? So that was really intense. And I also really did like how they shifted the location from the, you know, Halloween-esque suburbs to New York, because it's a whole different ballpark. It's a whole different playing field. The crowded nature of the city just makes it feel so much more claustrophobic. And while it ideally would be, you know, more reassuring to be in a crowd because stuff will be less likely to happen to you, the Ghostface in this movie doesn't give a fuck. The Ghostface here will kill bystanders, they will kill anyone who gets in their way, and it is just like, this is probably one of the most ruthless Ghostfaces in the entire fucking movie. This Ghostface was trained and relentless and ready. Like, they practiced their shit. And yeah, overall, I just fucking love this movie. It was amazing. So that's gonna be the vlog. If you made it this far into the vlog, please be sure to leave a knife or blood drop emoji to commemorate this film, or a ghost emoji, whatever you want to do, leave one of those. Are you gonna see Scream 6? Have you seen Scream 6? What did you think? What did you think of Scream 5? Let me know down below, okay? But as always, I hope to see you all in future videos, and as always, take care.